Said play with my pussy, but don't play with my emotions. If you spend some money, then maybe I just might fuck you.
Hello goddesses and gods. In this video, as you can see in the description, this is my baby stripper, my baby stripper journey, and I'm going to share with you goddesses and gods what I've made in 3 days and what I have learned in 3 days of stripping, okay? So if you are not subscribed to my channel, definitely subscribe. If you are a pole dancer, a baby pole dancer, I definitely will be creating tutorials very soon and be posting it on my platform so you can learn from me. Also, if you do not follow me, my name is PoleGoddess94. I will put it up here, so please follow me on Instagram, and I do teach as well. So yeah, so let's get right into the video. Stay towards the end of this video because I am going to definitely be sharing y'all the stack of money that I made and how much I made within 3 days of dancing, as well sharing advice and tips at the end. First and foremost, I'm just going to be talking about the pros and the cons when it comes to stripping and what I've learned so far as a baby stripper. I don't know why I like saying stripper, but I don't know. I like it. So I'm gonna go first with cons because I just want to get it out the way so you guys know the reality, because I feel like a lot of people talk about the pros of obviously when it comes to money and stuff like that, but I'm gonna be talking about the cons of what I've experienced in my stripper journey so far. I kind of started my stripper journey 3 months ago, but it was an epic fail because of what I endured and what I experienced in the first 3 months. To be honest with you, it kind of scared me off from dancing in the club. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna keep it a buck and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. If you are a black girl like me, skin tone similar to mine, do understand, as a dark-skinned black girl that is in Los Angeles in California, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be a struggle for you. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm just gonna be real. I had a terrible fucking time. Number one con that I faced in the beginning of my journey was racism. Yes, in 2022, we're still facing racism till this day, but I didn't think I would experience it the way that I did. I'm not gonna say the club specifically, but I'm gonna tell you what street it is on. So this club that is on Main Street, I started there. This club, they kept telling me like fucking reasons. First it was my hair. They told me my hair wasn't like good enough. Then they made up some other shit. I can't even remember. The last thing that really, I just had enough at this club, they told me that I needed to audition. So I'm watching this video back because I'm editing right now, and I forgot to mention something really important. So before I get into the story of like the club on Main Street, I went there and the lady immediately hired me. She said I didn't have to audition. Now at night at that club, they have promotion, you know what I'm saying? So I would work during like the day shift, and then the night shift where the money really comes in. This is where the story is going. So I just wanted to make that clear before there's any kind of confusion of like, wait, how did you even work at the club if you didn't audition? The woman literally told me I didn't have to audition. She immediately hired me. So yeah. Which was like, it kind of blew my mind because I was like, why wasn't that the first thing that you could have told me that in the first place? So I felt that they were just lying and coming up with anything, and they brought it like, oh, you have to audition, which in reality they would have just probably told me you can't dance here. So that is what really pissed me off, but this was the icing on the cake on how I knew it was racist. So after these people had told me like, you have to audition, sorry, but they were nice enough to give me my tip out. I'll explain that later in the video towards the end, but they gave me back my tip out, and as I was standing in line to getting my tip out, this white dude comes up the stairs and literally is standing like right here in front of me, and he goes, did she audition? And I'm standing there like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not a person. And I was like, yeah, they already let me. I stared at him with the coldest stare and the coldest eyes, and I was like, they already let me know what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he didn't say anything to me, whatever. I got my tip out and I left, and I never returned to that club. So that is definitely one of the things that like really, really irritated me, but it also was clear what it was about that club. You know what I'm saying? They don't like dark-skinned black girls that are petite and tiny like me. Now this newer club that I am dancing at, I will explain that it is a really good club. I really like this club, but I will admit that there was something that had happened where looks are everything, you know what I'm saying? So I was sitting in this group talking to one of the guys, one of the customers and whatever, and there was this like white dude with a mustache, and just, you can look at this guy and he just looks like the typical like racist white man, you know what I'm saying, that once maybe was a cop in his time or something, and he just looked at me with so much disgust. But listen, I can be a petty person, but I was like, I'm not going anywhere, you know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking going anywhere. You can look at me as so much disgust, ugly anyway. But anyway, period, I sat there, I stayed there, but I can tell by the look that he gave me, he was like disgusted of my presence. Yeah, so with that being said, please understand that if you are someone like myself, like I said, you are black, you are dark skinned, you are beautiful, you know what I'm saying, do understand that there is going to be racism, and you are going to experience it a lot more, and you're gonna have more of a struggle finding clubs. But I will tell you that I have found a club that loves black women though. So yeah. Another con that I'm going to express, and this is the reality of the club, the one that I was talking about on Main Street, do understand that there are going to be women that do extra in the club. And what I mean is pretty much there are going to be girls in the club. I'm just going to make that clear to you. With that being said, at this club, I definitely got the vibe that people were doing that, but I will sit here and say I did see, and it was one of those things where, you know how you see something and you just look away and it's like, did you really just see that? Yeah, there were certain situations that I had seen too, actually, where it was like, did I just see what I saw, you know? So then once I had left that club on Main Street, I did go to another club, and I was talking to this girl that had been dancing for a while. She had even danced at this club on Main Street, and she told me I wouldn't even have suggested that to be your first club. And as I was talking to her, I was talking about this like one girl, I didn't know what her name was, and she was like, wait a minute, does she look like this, da-da-da, is this her name? And I was like, yeah. She's like, she's still at that club. And she was like, that girl club. And I was like, all right, so now it confirms that I did see what I saw in the club. So do understand that there are gonna be stuff like that. I have not been asked to do anything, thankfully, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like this new club that I'm dancing at, they are very strict about, like, even in private, guys aren't even allowed to touch us. So this is a club that I know is like clean. One of the other cons, it varies, you know what I'm saying, from club to club on this, but there is a tip out, there is a payout. I mentioned that before. So when you work in a strip club, you have to pay to work in the strip club. So again, this varies from like club on how much. Some could be $50, which is not bad, but there are going to be some that could be $100, $140. So at this club that I'm currently working at, I have to do a tip out of either $100 or $140. And it depends if I'm working like later shift. If I'm working like more of the night shift, I have to pay $140. Now for me, I personally, because I have been asked this question of like, is it worth it? Is it worth, you know what I'm saying, working at the club? Yes. I'm gonna tell you that right the fuck now. It definitely is, because like, I'm gonna be sharing this tip a little bit later, but I'm not the one that's paying my tip out. And I'll explain that later towards the end of the video of when it comes to my advice. The last con I'm going to share is you're gonna have to stay on 50. And what I mean by that in particularly, you're going to have to be on guard 90% of the time, especially if you are doing this on your own. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a friend coming with you. You are going to have to be on guard 90% of the time. That's why I say stay on 50 because you're literally going to be on guard all the time. There's nobody that you can trust. You are looking out for yourself. No one's going to be taking care of you. Nobody has your back, and stuff like that. But that's why it's important to build rapport and a relationship with people. But do understand, you know what I'm saying, that you're going to have to be on guard 90% of the fucking time. Luckily, like, it is an hour drive for me, so it's like I'm very aware of when I'm driving to see if anybody's, like, you know, following me or whatever the case is. But do understand, I think that's actually more of a good thing of dancing at a club that is far, far away from your home. But yeah, so that's all of my cons that I'm shared with you guys. So now I'm going to get into the pros. Pro of being in the strip club: if you are someone like myself that is an introvert, like introvert extrovert, I'm very much an introvert extrovert, but I will sit here and say I'm more of an introvert than anything. When you're in the club, I'm gonna tell you right now, that introvertness goes out the window, because it's not how you're gonna make your fucking money. So it's one of those situations where, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I need to pay my fucking rent. I can't be shy, none of that. And let me tell you, it forced me to get me out of my introvertness and talk to people and so on and so forth. So that is definitely a pro. It kind of goes with the first pro that I was saying, is you're definitely gonna be out of your comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing. I feel like when you're out of your comfort zone, it opens up new doors and new experiences and new things, when it comes to just like life. I feel like what I'm going to be learning in the club is going to transition into the real world and the real life for me, and it has, where I feel like it's easier for me to talk to people, it's easier for me to look people in their eyes and stuff like that, when before it really didn't. So yeah, ultimate pro of dancing in the club is the money. Okay, the money. So with that being said, that is the ultimate pro of the money. So now I'm going to share with you guys and show you guys, you know what I'm saying, how much I made, and I will be talking about tips and so on and so forth. So if you've stayed this far in the video, I really appreciate you and love you. So let's get into it. So this is from 3 days. Actually, this is not even from 3 days, because I put some of the money away. Actually, is $400. 400. All right, $400. I already put some of the money away. So overall of how much I made in 3 days of dancing in the club, I've made about $600 to $700 within 3 days. Now, when I was dancing at these other clubs, I'm gonna be real with you, I made that within 2 weeks because of how shitty it was. So now that I have found a club that I've made that amount that I made in 2 weeks within 3 days, bruh, it's definitely, I can already see, I mean, I'm new to this, I can see how, when I hear and I've heard dancers say how it helps you financially and how it gets you out of the mud, it really fucking does. It really fucking does. And I just started this journey. I'm gonna share with y'all tips, you know what I'm saying, on how to, I don't know why I'm doing that, but how to like make money. These are my tips. This is what I'm doing. Again, I'm a baby stripper. So this is like what I have learned thus far. I'm gonna tell y'all, I do day shift. And the reason that I'm gonna share that doing day shift is better than probably, not really, I wouldn't say better than doing night shift, but my thing is, if you are someone that's like me, that you are like introverted and stuff like that, this is definitely gonna be a way for you to step out of your comfort zone, and on top of that, you're going to do less. Because I feel like night shift is more of walking around, there's a lot more competition because there's a lot more girls. Day shift, there is not a lot of girls, okay? It's less girls, and well, yeah, it's definitely less girls, and sometimes there may be more girls than clients, but it's like 5 girls and there may be like 2 clients or something like that. But let me sit here and tell you something. It's easier to make money, in my opinion, so far. It's a lot easier to talk to people and just sit down with them, and like you'll talk to them for a little bit. They get a private dance. And this is the ultimate tip. When it comes to like the tip out that I was talking about, that money doesn't go to me. I give that money to the club, because that pays my $100 tip out, or my $140 tip out is when I do private dances and stuff. So that's how I finesse it and make it work, because once I make that tip out, all the money is for me for the rest of the night. Once I make that tip out, the money is for me. So when I do dances and when I do my first private, that money goes to the tip out. I don't actually take money out of my account. I just take the money that they've given me and I give it to the club. My last piece of advice, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are in California, if you are in Los Angeles, do not dance in Los Angeles. Do not dance in Los Angeles, and here's why. So I've learned a couple things, and again, I know I have a social media platform. I have like 21,000 people that follow me. So I have a platform, and I noticed that like when it comes to clubs in LA, they want you to have, you know, like 20K or 30 or whatever. They want you to have a following. And it's all about clout, in my opinion. I don't like LA. I don't like dancing in LA. And here's the difference between dancing in LA and dancing to places like Long Beach or the Valley, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? These are where people have money. So prime example, in LA, it's mostly 20 and 30-year-olds that are gonna throw $100, $200, maybe $300. When you go to these clubs that are outside, like Long Beach, Anaheim, fucking the Valley, these are people that they're like in their 50s and 60s. They have big money. They come and spend, you know, like $500, $800, thousands of dollars in the club. So it's way better to go to these outside clubs that, one, they love black women from what I've learned, and they spend real money. They spend real money, okay? So with that being said, that is all of my tips and advice, you know what I'm saying? Do not dance in LA if you're in LA. Look for those clubs that have big money, you know what I'm saying? These are men that have families, you know what I'm saying? They come during the day shift because they want to, you know what I'm saying, relax and be with a pretty girl, you know what I'm saying? Get away from the family, spend some money, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So that's my piece of advice. And like I said, when it comes to these 50, 60-year-old, I have 60, I've talked to them where they have had houses. They're like CEOs, you know what I'm saying? They have 5 cars, you know what I'm saying? They got money. So that's my piece of advice, to go to these clubs that are not in Los Angeles, that are outer. If you live in a different area, I mean, look for those more expensive areas where there's more money and shit like that. Like, I've come across a lot of guys that are in construction, and I know they make hella money in construction. So, yeah, that's my piece of advice. You know what I'm saying? I hope this is helpful. I hope this helps somebody. I'm sorry if this is going to be a long video, but that is what I've learned in 3 days of stripping, you know what I'm saying, as well as how much I made in 3 days of stripping. So thank you for watching. I love you goddesses, and stay tuned for more.